Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
From Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. This is the final game of group play on day 3 of the women's competition, day 5 of the tournament in general, as the USA Freedom take on the Great Britain Swans. Both of these teams know that they will be playing semifinal football when we get down to the pointy end of the tournament in just 2 days' time. But first, they have a battle against each other, just the second time in their history that they've met. G'day everyone, I'm Brian Barish. Great to have you along. Joining me in the commentary position direct from Melbourne, Australia, it's a very good afternoon to Peter Holden.
Good afternoon, Brian. Pleasure to have your company again. Great Britain have won the toss and will kick to the left of screen, the Toronto City Centre end, and the USA Freedom will kick to the right of screen, which is the Visit Mississauga.ca end of the ground.
Take a look at the Vision Glass Toronto standings. You see that Great Britain trying to keep their undefeated record, going to be the only undefeated women's team if they do it. The USA currently sitting in first place, and the only way that the USA could drop below Colombia and not make the semifinals is if Great Britain do some pretty much break quantum physics and win by something like 800 points. So they are in. Let's take a look at some of the key players here, brought to you by Either Sports.
Yes, I've got for the British Lucy Massey. The reason why I want to keep an eye on number 26 out of the Southeast London Giants, who played the 2022 AFL European Championships, is that she's considering, I believe, if my mail is right, coming down to Australia next year to playing. So this is an exciting player that I want to watch, and a player as well that's got great tackling pressure, and maybe a player that's got to try and follow around Connor Joe Lewis. For the Americans, here's the wild card. She didn't play the first 2 games. She was out of the country. She just arrived last night. Former AFLW footballer Danny Marshall, 2 seasons with the Western Bulldogs, 2 with the Essendon Bombers. She could turn this game right on its head.
And a quick look at the Either Live keys to the game. Everything begins at the halfback. They're going to be playing in the semifinal. For the Americans, everybody needs time on the ball. They need to use plans B and C, and they need to improve hitting their targets in order to see out this pool stage. As we said, it will be the U.S. and Canada in the semifinal, and Great Britain will face off against Ireland. Just checking some last-minute things as we take a look in the ruck. Kylie Hawn from Simpsonville, South Carolina, plays out of the Denver Bulldogs. And just taking a quick look, we'll see a number of players in there for the Swans, including the number 9, I believe that is Emma Baker, who is just about set to get into the ruck.
Carissa Turner is going to do the rucking there for Great Britain. She's the vice-captain out of the Cardiff Panthers. And in fact, today, the 6th of August, is her 25th birthday. Happy birthday, Carissa. Umpire holds the football aloft. We are underway in the final game of round-robin action for the women's division. And little contest there, trying to get onto it, is Ali Hancock. Umpire blows the whistle and says it's going nowhere. Ball up. Kylie Hawn jumped on top of the football as well. Also in there, Kaya Segula. Umpire takes the football back, throws it high in the air again. One out by Horn on that occasion. Trying to take it to advantage is Nicole Feary. She went without the football. Tried to lay the tackle there on Lucy Massey, who's one of the players we said you should be watching for. Hurry kick out there by the Americans. Beck was trying to chase afterwards, but it was kicked back from whence it came by the British. They'll have the football in the middle of the ground. It's Marshall who came in there to do the smothering work on a surprised Ali Heiner. The Americans send it back towards centre half forward. Again, they're looking for Lindsay Beck. She's having to go toe-to-toe there with McInerney for the British. McInerney, of course, got their Best on Ground award in their game last 2 days ago. And she'll have a great matchup against Lindsay Beck, who has the football now.
And the Twin Cities native sends this one in through the hands of McInerney. Lindsay Tursa's there, spinning away as Massey. We have a whistle, contact off the contest, and it will be free kick going the way of Massey. She'll play it out to the far side as this one drops in front. Hawn is in there, so is Williamson, and Allison Leonard is hung up. She dropped the footy, no call. Again, going to pick that one up was Turner. And now up on the far side is a free kick and a 50-meter penalty. Now, I believe they didn't give the ball straight back. And the umpire says walk this way in either run DMC fashion or Aerosmith fashion, depending on your tastes. And so she'll line up from 55 meters out, going in the Heiner direction, and it got punched free. U.S. under pressure early, and handballs out to Sequeira, who gives the march, who bombs it up the side.
And now I think the British are going to say, oh, so this is Danny Marshall, and they kick up the line, looking to try and find Lindsay Terse, who was chasing after the football up against the boundary line. Plenty of runners on there, including Kirsty Martin for the British. Ball being held up at the moment, trying to fight in there as well as Jenny Green, and the umpire will ask for the ball back. 15.5 minutes remaining first term. We're playing 17.5-minute quarters. No score yet between the Swans and the Freedom.
And you saw there, Pete, the ball died pretty much on that wing. If you're just joining us, it's been raining for about 4 hours straight, so it is going to be like a greased watermelon out there, and it is going to be like playing football on Velcro. Free kick given to Kylie Hawn. Looks out to her Denver teammate in Allison Leonard, the co-captain. Swings it around to the near side, looking for Beck, and the ball bounces through. Kicked off the ground by Pfluger. Going after it and staying with it is Blecker. Blecker is taken down. Did she have prior? No. The umpire says play on it quickly. Here is the former Austin Crow and Lindsay in Toms as her former teammate Lindsay Terse bumped her off the footy. Beck was taken down quickly. I don't think it is a free kick. It was a high contact there, and so Lindsay Beck will go back. Beck with 2 goals already to her name in the first 2 games. And they'll bring her around on the mark with Toms, who's now playing for the Sussex Swans. Beck decides to go in short. Hancock eyed it, or rather McInerney eyed it all the way, and she takes the mark. 3 minutes gone, no score. Payable app scoreboard.
McInerney for the Swans wants to go to the there live broadcast side of the ground. Ball hit the deck, taken away by Leonard. Hand pass over the top. The Beck now to Blecker. Blecker was going to get away, and the umpire said there was a bit of a push. No advantage paid, and the ball will come back for the British. Or will it be for the Americans? He has put it in the way of Lindsay Beck. There was a little bit of confusion going on there. Beck will have the resulting free kick, and the player on the mark just inside the 50. So when she puts boot to ball, she'll be about 52.5 metres out from goal. 45-degree angle, too far to score. Blecker was calling for the lead, goes to the hot spot. Oh, McInerney's got plenty of space to work with. April Munn came across at the last second, got the hand in there, but McInerney will clean up. She kicks it towards the half-back flank position. Kojo is going after it. Connor Joe Lewis can't quite pick up the football. Over the top of it there is Jenny Green, and now the ball spills out, now trying to go forward for the Americans. Connor Joe Lewis once again getting in there. Kaya Segula is lurking nearby. She can't extract the football out. Once again, Segula goes in to try and get another possession and may earn the free kick for too high. The Americans have it half forward flank, Lake Ontario side of the ground.
Kai Segula, who is the best player on in the first for the U.S. in the first game against Ireland. McInerney got a paw to it. Out to the near side. Beck is going in there, and U.S. had good numbers around the crumb contest, and the umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor. USA losing on opening day to Ireland, came back with a thumping 125-point victory against France in Game 2. And Great Britain is coming off of, as the ball goes to ground, that was Pfluger who hits it for, like she was playing Gaga, which is Israeli dodgeball. They work it around. There's Blecker. Kick on the right side, high in the air, looking for Munn, who couldn't have it. There's Bowe, who's the team's leading scorer with 5 goals. She's taken down, didn't have it before, so there's Terse to try and clean up the garbage. Going to get picked up and back the other way by Hancock. Chasing after it is Susie Carr, slipping and falling over on a banana peel there and finding Fury off of one step, but the fullback was there, and that ends that. Still no score after 5.5 minutes of football. Payable app scoreboard.
And they'll run it out from defence, going towards the half-back flank on the broadcast side of the ground. Maybe being dispossessed there, Cherry half-yard. Umpire said no, play on. Hurried little kick out of the pack. Blacker's going to try and chase after it here for the Americans. In fact, kicking it off the ground rather was Sophie Pfluger. Pfluger got across again to Kaya Segula. Segula moved it sideways. Was using Leonard to try and get to Beck. Umpire says that's holding without the football, and a free kick once again going to Lindsay Beck. You can see they're trying to wear her like a cheap suit. They're wearing her very closely because they know you can't give her space or she'll do damage. Once again, Segula puts it in the direction of Blecker. Play on as the call. Blecker's kick is smothered off the boot, and the British defence at the moment completely under siege. Going in there after the football as well is Kylie Hawn. Umpire throws the hands in the air, says, play on. I'm not going to stop play yet. McInerney is there. Now he pins holding the football. It will be a British free kick, and they have the ball in the back pocket on the Lake Ontario side of the ground, and I think it might be in the hands there of Ellie Hancock.
It looks like Lucy Massey, I believe, but that's okay. It all looks the same from here, Pete, as they bang that one up the far side now, going up high, off the hand, staying in front of there, and then there is Hibbert, who is taken down, finds Fury. Fury gets the ball in short, looking for Beck, but it's picked off once again by
Massey. Yeah,
Massey,
you're correct.
Yep.
She's actually wearing the helmet today, which is throwing us.
Yep, that's okay. As they find McInerney, that one is a wounded duck of a ball. One hops in, and then Heiner able to spray that in the middle of the ground. Nice little 1-2 do-si-do. And now here comes an inside 50 entry for the Swans. Coming out the back and going up to get it there is Caskew. Caskew runs about 10 meters, kicks that one up on the left side, bounces back into the hands. Now we're playing aerial ping-pong. Big tackle put in by Lewis. Was it a tackle? No. There comes the Saigula. Saigula was taken down in a hurry, and it's a high contact, so free kick. It'll go the way of Kaya Saigula. No score, 7.5 minutes gone. We're playing 17.5-minute quarters. Leonard bangs the ball down, but almost intercepted. There was McInerney out the back for Soph Bennett. Bennett now goes out the far side, sending this one in, drops in front, and we have some contact in that contest. Free kick downfield for Great Britain, and they'll have the chance. The mark will be about 80 meters from goal.
And I think it might be in the hands there of Iona Williams with the football. She elects to go quickly on the right boot towards the hot spot, 45 metres out from goal. Good ball from behind by Nicole Fury, trying to put it on the boot. There's Cherry half-yard, having to go back in again, half-yard after the football. Massey chasing after it. Also there, Connor Joe Lewis first to the football. On that occasion is Gallagher. Tries to keep it inside there, Massey. Sees the ball over the boundary line. She accidentally put it on her boot as it went over and out of bounds on the full. Connor Joe Lewis, go, 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 Joe. She's got the football, half-back flank.
Head coach of the Minnesota Vixens gridiron football team. That's a women's team. They do play women's gridiron as well. As the ball goes through Hibbard, that is soccered off the ground by McInerney. One hops into the hands of Kelleher. And now up on the far side, as the ball is over there. Not as many people there today because of the rain. It is also Tuesday. And we did have more of a crowd yesterday. It was a public holiday, a civic holiday here in Ontario. So more of a crowd. And for this weekend, we're hoping there will be more people in the area. And if you are in the area, you should come down to Humber College and watch us again. As once again, it is a boundary throw. And just a quick reminder, we are playing with the last touch out of bound rules, if you are familiar with AFLW. So there is some of these will be boundary throw-ins on the far side. Some of them will be free. Some of them will be free kicks. And we're going to have a secondary ball in once again.
Yep. Too short on that occasion. Freya Hibbert doing the rucking now for Great Britain. I believe you bumped into her in Toronto downtown yesterday, and she corrected us. She no longer plays at the Wimbledon Hawks. She plays for the South East London Giants. So we've sorted that out for you, Freya, as she manages to slap the ball down, looking for Massey to try and pick it up. Another teammate does, and they'll slam it on the boot towards the forward pocket. Flying through the air to try and do it is Delgadillo. Going after it is Marshall against the boundary line. They're all appealing to ask the question if it's out of bounds on the full, and the umpire comes running in to say no, it across the boundary line first, and we'll call for a throw-in 35 to 40 metres around from the right-hand point post. Great Britain attacking to left of screen, which is the Toronto City Centre end.
Danny Marshall about to turn 33 this month, playing soccer right now for Essendon Royals in the local Melbs. One is banged up the left side by Connor Lewis, stays in play, picked up by Susanna Kelleher, who whips it back from whence it came. Hibbert got a hand to it, going to get picked up by Saigula, dropped it quickly, sends that one on. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking mongrel up-country punt, and now through the middle of the ground, going to get picked up by, now it's Fury off a terrace. And we have a Great Britain player down behind play, Pete, as there is Georgiadis. It's going to be high contact, and it's going to be a free kick coming back the way of Great Britain. That player is up.
That's Elizabeth Toms, and she's just starting to shake it off as the kick now goes towards the centre wing position on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. First towards the football and being caught straight away there is Susan Gallagher for Great Britain. They do have plenty of numbers here. Just wants to walk it out there, but Saigula is quick there, and so is Lindsay Beck. Beck goes for the hand pass, trying to find a target to go to. I think at the torn on her haunches. Tries to go quickly across to Blecker. Blecker now goes in the April Munn direction. This is going to be a one-on-one battle, 25 metres out from goal. Who can keep their feet? It's April Munn, and then she gets mown down from behind, and the umpire says in the back.
Wow.
Free kick for April Munn, got rewarded for being first to the ball.
And April Munn, who also not only a leader on the field, but off of it, president of the USAFL, began playing in 2017 for the Seattle Grizzlies. Played up won a premiership in the NTFLW with the Southern Crocs.
Directly in front, kicking to the visit Mississauga.ca end with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. Visit Mississauga.ca. April Munn comes in directly in front, and the USA lead Great Britain. After about good 11 minutes gone so far in this first term, it's the USA Freedom 1 straight 6, Great Britain no score on the Payable app scoreboard.
Third goal of the tournament for April Munn, and she really has established herself. She was a ruck when she first came into the league, and now she is up in the forward line and really has established herself. Not as we talk about her talents off the field, she works in biotech. She has 12 publications and a patent, and she ran track and field and cross country for New Mexico State University. Go Aggies.
Umpire with the ball back in the middle of the ground. We've got 5 minutes remaining in this first term. You're watching the AFL Transatlantic Cup, the Payable apps on the AFL Canada YouTube page. Umpire throws the football up in the air and away we go again. This time it is one out in the contest by Barbara Williamson. Got it across to Kaya Segula. Segula goes back with the hand pass for the USA Freedom. Now the kick up towards the half-forward flank position. Trying to find Beck. Athena chasing after the boards. That is McInerney. Athena McInerney lost control of the football. The Americans will now send it once again in the April Munn direction. Punches the football. Little tug of the jumper there. Way too obvious. We could see that from 100 metres away. April Munn is suggesting she didn't do it. No, you did it, April.
No.
You were caught. And that is Beth Tetlow who has the resulting free kick. They also call her Bob.
Yeah. G'day, Bob. That's from, Blackadder as the ball gets knocked down, and it's going to be a throw and a turnover quickly. And they'll play on there as Cherry Halfyard. Runs about 2 of her name. Now kicks that one ball forward. Again, looking for Heiner. Heiner, stay with the football. She was bowled down. Center kicked into the middle of the ground, running on and kicking after it. Now going to pick that one up is Danny Marshall, but her kick was affected. Ball gets taken down. Throw a blanket over 4 players. However, it's going to get picked up there, and they almost have it. There is Terse, who is taken down. Williamson is in there as well. Gets knocked backward there by Susie Carr. And there is Amelia Carr. And guess what? If the two of them run into each other, it will be a car crash. I know I stole it. I'm sorry.
It was my line. I was working on it for a week. Sakura now has the football, goes up the line, finds Amelia Carr. She's on the centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground and now goes inside 50. Was looking for April Munn, who's come a long way up the ground, got knocked out of her hands. Terse gets the hand pass out to Kojo Lewis. Connor Joe manages to work it inside. Terse once again just missed the ball as she tried to put it on the right boot. Ball in a pack situation. Coming away with it is Elizabeth Toms, who tried to swing around on the right boot. Finds the intended target, and Susan Gallagher. She's got it half-back flank, Lake Ontario side of the ground.
They're going to send this one on. Not a great kick through the hands of a Carr. Going to be socked off the ground by Fury. It kills a family of worms on the way through. Trying to pick that one up was Toms. Toms is able to bat it in play. Bo is there, however, to scoop up the goodies. And then there is Saigula trying to put a lot of ding, 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 ding. That's pressure as the ball goes up on the far side. Going to drop in front. Terse is in there against Kelleher, who's been very involved in the early going. Going to send this one across the ground. Looking for Georgiadis. Going to get popped up on a half. Getting taken down very quickly there was Almer. And Almer will send this one down as they continue it on. There is Sequeira. Bumped off the football by Iona Williams. And then sent flying was Caskew. And almost sprung Williams again as Sequeira goes in for a second time. But she took down her opponent, which was Baker. And Baker will go back. Emma Baker from the Nottingham Scorpions, a Nottingham native, played in the European Championships 2 seasons ago.
And also used to play the electric organ. As she decides to go inside 50 with the kick, got knocked away. Trying to get front position there was Ali Heiner. She goes to ground. The umpire blows the whistle and says, "I'll take the football back, please," and call for a ball up. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the first term. It's the USA 1 straight 6. The Great Britain Swans no score on our Payable apps scoreboard as the ball gets thrown up in the air. Now Kojo Lewis has the football, gets it across to Terse. Terse moves it quickly by hand to Nicole Fury of the Golden Gate Iron Maidens. Now goes over the top trying to find Lindsay Beck. Got away from her. She socketed it off the ground by luck. Going after is McInerney, who had her momentarily. In goes Kaya Segula. Umpire blows the whistle and says that's a free kick going the way of the British. They'll have the ball half-back flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground at the visit Mississauga.ca end.
And we had a stoppage in the rain for a little bit, but it is picking up. It's just steady rain, nothing, but it is affecting play as it bounces again in front of Hibbert, who will go after the football. Now picked up by the USA. Going after it is Georgiadis. Just got a handball out. That could have been a throw because she threw it up in the air. Ball don't lie. Marshall sends this one off the left foot, top of the 50-meter arc. Nice mark over the back by the fullback in Tetlow, who has snuck up into the central halfback position. Watched by April Munn. 6-0 the score. We haven't seen very many of these, Pete, these low-scoring quarters, and the conditions definitely having a say as Georgiada saw it go off the back of her. Handballed out. Just got it, getting a foot to it was Miles, and sent about about 3 square inches of Ontario turf high into the air. Free kick for high contact. 30 seconds to go, and we do have
two players
down. It looks like a contact, and we are going to have time off here. We'll keep an eye on this. And it looked like a collision. It is Nikki Fury as the American, and Ellie Heiner, who is down for the British.
It's just taking a while to obviously be checking their heads because it might be a bit of a head clash in there. Of course, we have the concussion protocols as per standard at grassroots level of Australian football. While the umpires are just checking on things, he is holding the ball thanks to the Australian High Commission to Canada, responsible for advancing Australia's interests in Canada. You can visit them at canada.embassy.gov.au.
And I just want to point something out. We talk about, hey, these women want to win. This is a competitive environment. Katie Murdoch of Great Britain just went up and had her hand on Nicole Fury's back, making sure she was okay. Great Britain plays the game in the absolute right spirit. I'll expand on that a little bit later. 20 seconds to go, Pete.
As the umpire just making sure all is in readiness and we can resume play. And that's what they'll do. I think Katie Murdoch there has the football, looking in the Massey direction. Ball bounced away from her, trying to chase after her, delay the tackle. Tracy Mary McLean, then getting the football, Freya Hibbert. She's immediately caught. Massey goes with some soccer skills off the ground, almost bounced off the knee there of Lindsay Turst. Hurry kick out of the pack by Danny Marshall. Bouncing over the boundary line. Lasso, but that would be certainly way too far to consider a shot on the goal from the Great Britain Swans. And that will be quarter time here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park.
Yeah, the score, it's the USA 1-6, Great Britain no score. A game, as we said, that I think largely was determined by the conditions. It is raining again. It is very much, it's a wet, slick footy, and if you've never seen an Australian football before, there's no grips on the football like a gridiron ball or like a rugby ball. It is very much like trying to catch a grease pig or something along those lines. But it's been kind of cagey, but we have had one score.
And goal kickers, I've got at quarter time, just the one that is to the USAFL president, April Munn, directly in front, and put that one through the high diddle-diddle, the only score that we've had for this quarter.
Yeah, these two teams very quickly met their only meeting in the third-place game at the 2017 AFL International Cup, almost 7 years ago to the day, when Great Britain came from behind to defeat the USA 32-25 in a game that I called with our good buddy Matthew Cox in Melbourne. That gave the Great Britain Swans third place. And one thing, as we just mentioned, just want to expound upon, in all the games I've called and all the same, Great Britain plays this game with the absolute right way. They play a very clean game, at least what I've seen through the first couple, and they play the game in the right spirit. We're going to step aside, come right back with the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, brought to you by Payable Apps, thanks to eThere Live.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Back here in Toronto on the campus of Humber College, Colonel Sam Smith Park to be exempt on the shores of mighty Lake Ontario. It's the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. We're at quarter time of this final group stage match between the USA Freedom and the Great Britain Swans. Not much, a lot of action so far, Peter Holden, but only the one scoring shot thanks to April Munn, 6-0 USA. Some quick thoughts from you.
Well, actually, one thing I'm about to give you, due to some news that we've heard out of the USA to do with the presidential election and who's going to be the VP for the current VP, Kamala Harris, we actually have a 6 degrees of separation between our commentary booth using the USA Freedom to the current VP of the United States. We, of course, are calling a game which has the USA Freedom. It involves players from the Minnesota Freeze and also helping coach as well from the North Star Blue Ox out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Also based there in Minneapolis, St. Paul is a bar called A Bar of Their Own, which, of course, players from the Minnesota Freeze and North Star Blue Ox are watching this very game. A Bar of Their Own is owned by Jillian. Jillian's high school teacher was Tim Waltz, who's just been announced as being a VP on the ticket to Vice President Kamala Harris, who's looking to be elected as president in November.
This hard-hitting analysis brought to you by Either Live, as bringing you the pictures and the sounds of this first ever Transatlantic Cup here. Yeah, a lot of news coming out of down south, but we're here to focus on the football, which is absolutely fantastic. The USA, who are kicking towards the right of screen, they're now kicking towards the city center end, and Great Britain kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. Second quarter action, Peter Holden.
Kylie Horn going up in the ruck versus Turner for the Swans, and Turner won it out, and Massey now kicked the ball off the carpet towards what will be centre half forward for the Swans. Again, they consider to use the soccer skills because of these conditions. They were trying to find Stevens. They couldn't pick up the football. Ball is loose in space now. Wanted to call for it is Gallagher. Can't get to the football. Marshall there, there as well was Carr. Umpire's blown the whistle and said free kick going the way of the USA. And they'll have the football in defence, 40 metres out from defensive goal with Danny Marshall, who played 2 seasons for the Western Bulldogs and 2 for the Essendon Bombers in the AFLW. She was recruited out of the Arizona Hawks in the United States Australian Football League and won a grand final MVP playing for the Hawks at the 2018 USAFL Nationals.
There's Connor Lewis up on the far side, who takes the mark in the right wing position. Now sends this one in, going to bounce in front. McInerney and Beckney both ran the football. There's Georgiadis, who pushed her in the back. Absolutely. That was clear as day. Or as Green Day, if you prefer. They were here not too long ago. Kirsty Martin, who plays for the Edinburgh Bloods up in Glasgow, played in the Euro Cup as for the Scottish Sirens. They play individually in the Euro 9s competition. Looking for Massey, and Dykes is in there, throwing in a left shoulder. Dykes, who scored a goal after being moved up from the forward line. I imagine she'll be up from the back line to the forward line. Umpire punches the ball. A couple of players now mushroom farming, and we'll have a ball up on the opposite side. As we mentioned, USA 1-1 coming into this match. Great Britain 2-0. Both of them ticketed for the semifinals. As the ball gets knocked down, Georgiadis is able to scoop it out. Carr is in there in support of Isabella Marino, able to handball it back. Umpire keeping vigil over there and going to get it and going all the way down. And once again, the ball is under a massive body. He's under Amelia Carr, and we'll have a ball up. We'll see if Pete can relieve the pressure.
I'll try and do that for you and see if I can break it up. Horn versus Turner. Turner won it down again, immediately being caught with a football as Alison Leonard, and the umpire says you're holding the football, and that will be a free kick going the way of Lucy Massey for Great Britain, who also competes in boxing, badminton, tennis, athletics, and Irish dancing. Can you believe that?
Might have to have a dance-off with the Banshees later.
And kicks the football up in towards the forward 50, only for it to be held up by Turner, being pinned by Horn. And she'll get the resulting free kick for the USA Freedom as she'll kick up towards the halfback flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. It's Go Kojo. Connor Joe Lewis with the football. Has it and elects to play on quick. Massey is lurking nearby. Connor Joe Lewis will get it back with a 1-2. Kicks it up the line. Dribbling football towards the halfback flank position. They're looking for some clean skills. Beck decides to go off the ground instead of picking it up. Beck goes this time and gets caught by Tetlow. Puts her into the ground. Now it's with Aileen Yoon of the OC Giants, who quickly gets it across to Terce, who went without the football. And the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. And we'll have a throw-in inside the forward 50 for the USA Freedom.
We mentioned Danny Marshall. The reason she arrived a couple of days late, her parents, Doug and Marianne, celebrating their 40th anniversary. I believe they are both here in attendance, which is good because I've known Doug about as long as I've known Danny, and it's finally nice to actually meet him at some point. Picked up by Carr, slaloms through, right-footed, kick on the way. It's tailing right through the hands of Jerry Allen. Allen will not get to it, soccered off the ground, but only into the feet of check that, that's Tetlow, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it will be a boundary throw. And Jerry Allen, just want to mention, she just got married, and all she and her husband did for their honeymoon was climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So it's like, all right, what can we do for an encore? Boundary throw-in comes in 10 meters around. Back goes up high, going to get knocked down. There is Blecker who gets it. She holds on to it, and the umpire says, give that to me. We'll have a ball up only about 30 meters in front for the Americans.
And we'll try and reset the play again. Beck's going to put her hand up for the ruck for the Americans up against Turner. Turner wins it down. Oh, Massey slipped over at the crucial moment. Here's the hand pass back towards Blecker, who has to pick it up off the carpet. Blecker went with a worm burner of a kick towards the forward pocket. Jerry Allen goes to ground as she tried to pick it up. Also in there is Amanda Bowe, who's sitting third at the moment on the goal kickers table for most goals on the women's side of the draw. She's trying to chase the 8 that was kicked by Shannon Stevenson, and she only kicked it in 2 games because she missed in game 2. And that's McInerney now has it for the British. She kicks it out of defence, very close towards the boundary line. Chasing it is Alison Leonard, and the ball is over and out. Because it was outside the 50, last disposal rule comes into play. Connor Joe Lewis will have the resulting free kick for the USA Freedom.
Kojo sends this one in, and a great lead presenting there by Jess Blecker. San Jose, California native, began her career at the Portland Sockeyes, now playing and winning championships with the Golden Gate Iron Maidens. Sends this one up high through the hands of Beck, who found it at her feet. Little hand pass for a cutting Carr, but a good job of cutting that one off. McInerney able to get this one up to the near side. Ball bounces up high, and that one is taken down. Knocked off of it. Good job by Georgiadis to pressure the kick, but only as far as Dykes. Dykes sending this one up high. McInerney got position over Beck, but Beck took it. Not a clean mark as the ball goes to ground, and it was a throw, and it'll be a free kick. The Freedom bench is screaming for a free kick. I think it was deflected there, and it will go the way of Great Britain coming the other way.
And Lucy Massey kicks the ball in towards the middle of the ground. Danny Marshall says, get out of my way. And then she tried to get a kick away. She got brought down by Kirsty Martin. Says, I don't like what you did to my friend. Now coming in there is Iona Williams. She's fighting hard for the ball. Amelia Carr, who's been playing recently in Melbourne with Vermont. She kicks it up the line, looking again for McInerney to almost cut it off for Great Britain. Ball on the ground. Turner goes looking after it. Also jumping in there is Sophie Pfluger. Umpire blows the whistle, crosses his arms to signal either ball up, or he's feeling a little insecure and he would like a hug.
Well, I mean, if he wants them, he can come over here and I can give him one. The 2 number 7s there, Pfluger and Hibbard going after the ball, going and bootlegging around, giving the handball off and finding Bennett. Bennett will just get it away on her right foot. 2-on-2, Marshall through her hands down the ground. She's going to get, some help from Georgiadis, but Georgiadis slid in second, safe at third base. Over off the hands of Beck. It is cleared up by Great Britain. 2-on-2 contest there. Bodies flying in everywhere as Bowe was in on Murdoch, and there was no prior opportunity. So we'll have a ball up. Just the one score of the game, an April Munn goal, if grammar is your thing, in the first quarter, and we have played almost 7 minutes of the second, and there is a free kick. It will go the way of the Swans as they come from their back right pocket.
Well, the quote Homer Simpson, you are SMAT, smart.
Yeah.
As we have the ball moved up the line towards the centre wing position, Danny Marshall almost intercepted it there for the USA Freedom. Umpire blows the whistle and says it's going nowhere, and I'll call for a ball up once again. She was fighting in hard with it with Carissa Turner, who, of course, is the birthday girl, turning 25 today. Umpire throws the ball up in the air again. Horn versus Turner. Horn won it down on that occasion, kicked away by Bennett for the Great Britain Swans. Bennett, who had been playing in Sydney this past season, kicking it off the carpet. Here is Alma for the Great Britain Swans over around the football. Going back there again was Danny Marshall to kick it in towards almost the centre square, to be intercepted by Massey, who gave it across to Bennett, who ran into trouble. She got hit by a car, and now Georgiadis is on the ground as well, and the umpire says, Georgiadis, you can have a free kick, and she'll try and relieve the pressure for the USA Freedom by looking for Amelia Carr, who'll take a mark right in front of our There Live broadcast position.
Carr, originally from Pasadena, California, making her debut with this team for the Freedom, sending it down the wing. Oh, almost taking a Payable apps mark of the tournament there was Blecker, who picked up the football and is getting hugged from behind by Sophie Bennett. Umpire says, give it to me, we'll have a ball up. And in between left wing and the left half forward flank for the Americans, Hahn in there once again on Turner as the ball gets knocked down, and once again throw a blanket over a half a dozen players, except that's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be given to Kaya Saigula, and a 50-meter penalty because they didn't give the ball back to her straight away. And perhaps a little bit stiff there, Carissa Turner appealing, but as Pat McNeil has said, I've seen a lot of arguments between players and umpires. I haven't seen very many where the player has won. And here now it is Lindsay Terse, originally from the Philadelphia Hawks, gives it off to Saigula, and Saigula sees it go out to her side. Beck against McInerney. That's a fun matchup to watch. Carr sees it dribble down her leg side as that one is held up by Blecker, and we'll have a ball up about 20 meters in front. That line is the place where the defensive team, or essentially the offensive team, has to stand on the kick-ins.
As the ball is thrown back into play, Williamson wins the tap there for the USA Freedom. She elected to go defensive side. Amelia Carr tried to come across the top, and Jess Blecker also tried to lay a tackle as well. It now spirals out towards the Marino direction, who tried to pick it up for the Swans. Couldn't do so because it's go Kojo in there. Joe Lewis got rid of the football before being claimed. Saigula on the bottom of the deck here for the USA Freedom. Umpire comes in, calls for a ball up. Player over the top, Sophie Bennett, who's got thousands of Instagram followers, and she lists herself as an entrepreneur.
Yes. There's a lot of us about as the ball comes down. Oh, what am I saying? I'm not one of those. Anyway, I'm not smart enough to be one of those. As here is, this one is cleared out, believed by Turner, out in the middle of the ground. Gonna bounce away. Took a wicked bounce into the hands of Blecker, who off of one step squeezes it inside the goalpost. Second goal of the game and the first for the Baby Goat. USA goes to 2 straight 12. Great Britain no score. Payable Apps scoreboard, 10 gone second term.
And I also think that is a contender for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament there, with 7.5 minutes to go in the second term. That goal being put through by Jess Blecker, number 23 for the United States Freedom. An
original member, we talked about playing for the Portland Sockeyes, an original member of the team when they were briefly known as the Bridgetown Banshees. And of course, the Sockeyes have gone on. They won a couple of national championships with Blecker before she went off back to her hometown and take over as a nurse, her work as a nurse.
Yeah, in between a stop in Australia, playing with the Nightcliff Tigers, the Northern Territory Football League Women's Competition, and Collingwood in the VFLW. Here is Danny Marshall, who kicked the ball off the centre half back position in the middle of the ground. Lucy Massey racking up possessions for Great Britain. Put it into the direction of Alex Stevens, who overran the football. Taken away on this occasion by Ali Dykes for the USA Freedom. Kicks it towards the true centre half forward position. Here comes McInerney, who was the player of the game for Great Britain in their last match. Her kick, though, is going to be intercepted by Amelia Carr. Carr on the right boot. Wants to come in the Georgiadis direction, who's got plenty of space to work with. So much land in downtown Toronto that would be worth about $10 million, and you can throw up some condos. Coming across there is Danny Marshall. Got a shove after the kick. Goes inside 50. Trapping it there is Jerry Allen, the hammer thrower when she was in college. Got it across quickly to Kaya Saigula, and it's another for the USA Freedom.
Minnesota freeze connection as Allen found Saigula for her first of the game, her fourth of the tournament. Payable Apps scoreboard, U.S. shooting straight, 3 straight 18. No score for Great Britain. And a great job by Allen. You mentioned she was a Division I hammer thrower at the University of Minnesota, and also played volleyball and basketball. That is the key of having not a whole lot of height there, but a lot of strength, and she was able to bulldoze her way to lead to the goal.
And she would have known Kaya Segula because they would have been at the same university at the same time because Kaya was playing basketball.
And Beck, who was there, Lindsay Beck, who was there a little bit earlier, I guess graduated a little bit later, whatever, yeah, something like that. She rode there, so a lot of Golden Gophers in the audience there. As here is a handball by Segula, throws that one on to the left, goes up, bounces in front of the aforementioned Lindsay Beck, who picks it up after four bounces. Going to get picked up by Bo. Handballs it over to Connor Lewis, who gets there being pursued by Toms, sending that one in marked, and that ends that. Rain's starting to pick up a little bit once again. It's been off and on. Hasn't really, like I said, hasn't really bucketed down as they wait and they'll play on up the far side. And there is a mark by Lizzie Toms, who is playing down in the Brighton area for the Sussex Swans. Won a Division II national championship a season ago with the Austin Crows, and in fact played for the, believe it or not, played for the USA Freedom in the Parallel Cup a season ago. As the ball gets knocked down and being held without the football. So an entry opportunity now for Kaylee Almer and the Swans.
She, of course, is a PE teacher and assistant principal by trade. She elects to come inboard and finds Iona Williams with the football right in the middle of the two centre circles here. She elects to kick towards centre half forward, straight down the guts. Ball came off hands. Amelia Carr did the clean-up work. Her kick is just about pretty much bang on, hits the intended target. Just looking around Bo for some options. So there's off the hand pass to Danny Marshall. Almost ran into trouble. Back to Bo and then goes high with a kick. McInerney versus Beck. Beck came across to spoil McInerney. McInerney went for the second crack at the football, and the umpire has adjudicated that she was dealt with unfairly and will get the resulting free kick.
I think that's a little unfair, but the umpire was looking at Segula's back. From our angle, it looked like she had the ball, but again, that's very difficult to say from that angle. Free kick going to Danny Marshall, and Pete, you've been to the MCG more than I have. There's a lot of seagulls about. Seems like we're watching a game on a Sunday afternoon in the 80s at the MCG, as this one is speared through. It's a wounded duck of a ball off the feet of Terse, who goes a long way back, looks for an option, bounce in front of Leonard. Fury is there. Good to see that she's recovered from that little head clash before, and the ball is tied up. And the other player who was involved, believe that was Heiner. I don't know that we've seen her since then. And we'll have a ball up in the edge of the center square. Nominating, here is Barb Williamson into the ruck for the first time against Hibbert as the ball bounces out to the either live commentary position. Big hit put in there on Pfluger by Marino as the ball pops free. Off of 1 foot is Bennett into the pocket, chasing back and going over the shoulder as Caskew, and the New Jersey native sees it nurdle out of bounds, and I believe that will be a boundary throw-in. Just want to mention some of our umpires, including our boundary umpire over here. That is Dr. Ellen DeVries, who comes from Waruli. I got it right. I thought I did. Waruli, which is up near Wangaratta in Victoria. You know, she's a doctor, and she's doing her post-doctoral research at Yale.
Fantastic to see, because I think she's got a slight involvement with the New York Magpies while out this way in North America. Great to see Australians come out and still keep in contact with the game as they're looking for Lindsay Beck to try and get onto the football. Then Amanda Bowe. McInerney is there giving some bumping for the Great Britain Swans. She's got support there from Elizabeth Toms as they were trying to stop Blecker from getting the football. Hurry kick around the corner, trying to trap it at the feet there. Originally was Lindsay Terse, got away from her. Sophie Pfluger goes in to try and pick up the football. She can't extract it. Umpire blows the whistles, says a holding of the jumper, and it's going to be going to Great Britain, ending up in the hand of Lily Miles and Miles. She volunteers with the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. This is her debut international tournament with the Great Britain Swans. She goes up the line, spoiling work from behind courtesy of Fury. So Gula goes up the line. Great Britain have a chance to send it back from whence it came. Almost a don't argue there from Kirsty Martin, intercepted by Beck. She got dispossessed of the football, but ending up with it is Lindsay Terse as it ping-pongs around. Go toward the half-forward flank. Jerry Allen was going to try and track down a player. Couldn't do so. Segula! That is a contender for the Payable Apps mark of the tournament. She plays on quickly.
Sending this one inside the 50-meter arc quickly, but that ends that as Tetlow takes the mark. Well, that was very much like one of Aunt Becky's cookies. Looked good coming out of the oven and crumbled into nothing. Out to the near side. There's the easy mark up on the far side. And watching is Bo. as Bo sends it down the pocket. 3 players there off the chest of Massey. I can go for miles and miles. I'm a Who fan as the ball is tied up there. No opportunity. And the umpire says, I will ball this up in between the left wing and left half-back forward flanks with 20 seconds to go. Williamson in there against Hibbard. Ball bounces free. Saigula is going to have to move it forward quickly. I don't know that she knows that. Fury has it. Just gets it to her left foot. Going to get cleared out the back. Good job by Bo for position. She was whirly birded down, and it will be a push in the back, and this will be a kick after the siren as Martin, and Bo is slow to get up, and believe that's Bennett who is the first one over there. Now it's key for a couple of reasons as Bo is getting up, and now I do believe everybody has moved around, but Pete, I thought a free kick was given.
Yeah, it is, and she's going back because they're starting to walk off because the halftime hooter went. But what they're realising is, as much as she's a long way out, if a Great Britain player accidentally runs through the mark or the protected zone, she could get a 50-metre penalty. Or if there's no one standing on the last line, it could bounce through. That kick travelling only 30 metres and cut off.
So all of that is a moot point, and that is halftime. A very eventful first 35 minutes of play. Doesn't really show on the scoreboard a whole lot, but the USA has had 3 scoring shots, and they've all been through the big old sticks. At halftime here at Humber College, the score, it's the USA Freedom 3 straight.
With game MVP, custom cedar supplies done right. Cedar supplies based in Western Canada, powerwood.com. Well, let's be honest about Kaya Segula. They're going to nickname her Tim after the game because she's like a Tim Hortons in Canada, everywhere. and Kaya Segula has just been in every single play, just burrowing away, and it's taking the pressure off Connor Jo Lewis, who is putting her hand in there. It's taking the pressure off Danny Marshall. She doesn't have to do as much. It's taking the pressure off Jess Blecker. Kaya Segula has been the workhorse in this first half for the USA Freedom. Mind you, on the Great Britain side as well, as we talked about one of the players in Massey, who's just about throwing her head over anything. Bennett's now starting to pop her head up across the half-back line. Carissa Turner is actually winning every hit out at the moment for the Great Britain Swans. The only thing that they'll be frustrated about is they haven't been able to use that to their advantage, to get some clearance, to get, as they call, linking of the change and going up the line. At the moment, Great Britain are breaking down at centre half forward. I know we could say it's because of Danny Marshall at centre half back, but she is helping give some better structure across that line when you team her up also with Amelia Carr for the USA Freedom. So somehow they've got to think, the Great Britain Swans, they are getting first hands on the ball at a hit out. What can they do to get around this wall that the USA Freedom have got set up?
Yeah, it's all about building blocks, and that was one of the things we were talking about. Let's see how well they spread the field. I think this is one game where it seems like the ball isn't on one side of the ground, it's not on the other. They are spreading it out very well, and I think, one of the things that we mentioned, you mentioned Kaya Segula. We've watched the Minnesota Freeze develop over the last couple of years. A lot of their players, they only started playing after COVID. Kaya does this pretty consistently for the Minnesota Freeze. That's why she won the most consistent player at Nationals last season, won best and fairest at the Super Regionals in Ohio this season, and then came back and won the Finals MVP in the Western Regionals. There's a lot of athleticism on the team. I think the USA is really kind of exploiting that.
Yes, indeed, they are. And as we said, they've got multiple options to go with. You can see that the respect that Lindsay Beck is getting, as soon as that the Great Britain Swans put Athene McInerney on her, they realised that she was going to be a threat. And as much as Beck has been involved in a lot of the play, I think I'm going to have to give the points at this moment to Athene McInerney, just slightly edging her in the contest.
Yeah, it's been a really fun contest. There's a lot of fun contests up and down the ground, and that will continue as we move on. Very quickly, the goal kickers in this first half. Saigula won, Jess Blecker won, and April Munn, who had won in the first quarter. We're going to step aside, take a break, take a breath. We hope you do the same, and we hope you come back for the second half of this one here at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, thanks to Payable Apps.
Footy fans, you need to know about AFL Canada Shop. AFL Canada Shop has great items, whether you are a player, a coach, an umpire, a fan of Team Canada, or helping to grow this great game. Plus, AFL Canada Shop sells the highest quality Australian footballs at the best price anywhere. And we ship everywhere in the footy world. So visit AFL Canada Shop today at aflcanadashop.ca.
And back here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the banks of Lake Ontario, the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps continues. This is the final day of round-robin action in the women's competition. The USA leading Great Britain 18-0 as we get the second half underway. Brian Barish and Peter Holden with you. The USA will now kick towards the Visit Mississauga end with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga, yours to explore. And Great Britain will kick to the right of screen, as we are just about waiting. And again, U.S. with 3 goals through Saigula, Blecker, and Munn, as we hear one of the airplanes head into Pearson Airport just behind us.
Can I be very cheeky and call them the West Coast Freedom? Because the one thing I noticed when I went through the players, not a player from a club east of Minnesota.
East of the Mississippi. That's not at all. Not for the want of trying. And of course, a lot of players, a lot of them from the DC Eagles, the New York Magpies, the Columbus Cats, the Boston Demons as well.
Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks.
Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, a number of other clubs, the Cincinnati Dockers. Let's go Swans, let's go Freedom, let's go Peter Holden.
And we have the ball going high in the air again. It's one out by Horn, who put it straight down the throat of Fury, and Fury moved it towards the centre half forward position for Beck, who slipped over at the crucial moment. And pass, though, managed to go clean to Jess Blecker. Goes out towards the Eileen Yoon direction. Coming in after her is Green for Great Britain. Swans wraps up Yoon and sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Jenny Green, co-captain of the Welsh Wyverns when they play in the nines at the AFL Euro Cup tournaments. Also added the Cardiff Panthers. As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play, and once again putting her hand up is Freya Hibbard to do the rucking here for Great Britain, up against the 28 of Kylie Horn for the USA Freedom, close towards the boundary line, this occasion being seen over and out by Katie Murdoch. And once again, we'll have it thrown in 53 metres out from the USA Freedom goal, going to the Visit Mississauga.can.
That's very exact, Pete. Very good, as the ball will come spinning into play. Here's some rumbles. I'm not sure what that is. I hope it's not what I think it is, as Tom's on the bootleg around, sending this one down the line, picked off by Blecker.
Yeah, I didn't think that subway was all that great at halftime.
As Blecker, oh, that's an ugly kick from her, right in, almost having to take that in self-defense was Hahn. Hibbard was on her hammer, handballs it out, finds Beck, who finds Fury off the left foot, as that one goes in short, and again finds Jess Blecker. Blecker, who also plays Gaelic football, 30 years of age, looks to send this one in, and does, but does off to the side for one behind. First blemish of the game and the first score of the second half. After almost 2 minutes, USA 3-1-19, Great Britain no score.
As we wait for Beth Tetlow to bring the football back into play for the Great Britain Swans, goes long and high with a kick. Connor Joe Lewis was the meat and the sandwich of that one, trying to get a hurry kick off the boot, but being knocked around at the crucial moment was Elizabeth Toms. Now the umpire blows the whistle and says holding the football, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of the USA. Going to end up in the hands of Nicole Fury. Fury from the Golden Gate Iron Maidens, who have won 7 USAFL Nationals Division 1 titles in a row. Looking for Lindsay Beck, who had it momentarily, then dropped it. McInerney gets it back for the Swans. Had a jumper pulled, but got a kick away in time. Getting towards the middle of the ground. How's the ball going to set up? Being caught with it is Rita Hill, who tries to fire out the hand pass. Now getting it to Kaya Segula. Massey all over the top of her. Great Britain player down. Keep an eye on that, Brian, as all of a sudden the umpire pulls out a whistle and says it's a free kick going the way of Kaya Segula.
Ellie Hancock came out second best in that one, but she's up and okay. Husband of the head coach, nice mark in front by Miles. And back the other way, we mentioned the head coach, Josh Hancock. And now it's Saigula, who will swing around on a dime, send this one in front. And slipping over was Fury, allowing Massey to send this one back. Marshall to track it back. Skips Guy Franklin, going to get picked up by Hallie Kastanek. First time we've called her name. And that one is plucked off a blade of grass by Kaya Saigula. Saigula handballs out to the left side for Fury. Little chip kick in front to no one in particular. Everybody had to run about 20 meters to get it, and then Hancock had it and swings around and kicks this one on the right and finds Williams. Iona Williams stands on the wing position on the E there, wide side of the ground. Plays that one up high. Dropped there by Kelleher, who went after it a second time, and then she's going to get a free kick back as she was able to knock it away from Allie Dykes. So here is Kelleher with the football. She stands 2 kicks from goal, about 60 meters out, right in front of the interchange gates. Went for the short handball. Oh, there was a big tackle in there on Hancock, and now clearing that one out is Leonard, who finds the wing position in Lindsay Terse.
Terse with the football for the USA Freedom, gets on the right foot. It's a little toe poker over the top, and it works out okay. Just getting bumped as she got a kick away. Alison Leonard, it could be a downfield free kick. It is, and it'll be paid to the USA Freedom at the half-forward flank. They're going to the Visit Mississauga.ca enter the ground with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. So with the ball, the play on the mark will be about 49 metres out from goal, and Jess Blecker will have the resulting football. I know she's a good kick, but that will be beyond her range. The question is, who will lead to the pocket? It is an open pocket to lead into at the moment. We watch for the run. It was April Munn who went one way, then the other, and they decided to drop it in short to a player who I know can easily kick that distance. Danny Marshall, who's managed to work her way up forward. She takes a mark 28.5 metres out, 45-degree angle.
And she'll be used to kicking in these swirling wind conditions, because a lot of times in the VFLW, and she's played several years there, it has been on windy grounds, as Peter can attest, having called all those games. Here is the Colorado Springs native. The kick is on the way. It's low and slow, hands in front, and Yoon just kind of nudges it over. And so on the Payable app scoreboard, USA go to 3-2-20. Great Britain no score.
I'm going to mark that down to commentator's curse, because normally she hits the ball rather well, and that did not come off the boot, that flash. As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play, I think it might be Tetlow again here for the Great Britain Swans. Moves it out towards their half-back flank. A worm burner of a kick going in to chase after it as Saigula couldn't get there in time. Ball moved out for the Great Britain Swans, but only as far as Terse is going to kick around the corner. Oh, once again, McInerney. She's been really good across the half-back for the Great Britain Swans. Now we'll go out towards the wing position. Awkward bouncing football was trying to find Susan Gallagher, but because no one touched it, that's when they do. There'll be she coming round the mountain. When she comes, kind of lasso signal to indicate free kick to the USA.
They'll go to Danny Marshall. That's opposed to a Coach Beard free kick as they go that one up high. That's for all you, well, yeah, Ted Lasso, whatever. As the ball comes outside, and then it's Beck who went after it. Digging in after it once again is a half yard who sends that one down into the pocket. And we have a player taken down off the football, and it was given to Jess. It was Jess Blecker, and now it'll be Eileen Yoon who was taken down. And once again, we mentioned the sportsmanship as that one is played in the middle of Fury. Fury will run to 30 meters out and kick a Payable apps goal of the tournament possibility. Nicole Fury off the left foot, and that is her first, her second of the tournament. And USA, the Freedom, go to 4-2-26. They lead Great Britain. No score, under 11 to play, third term.
Well, this women's tournament here at the AFL Transatlantic Cup is really throwing up the surprises at the moment. We saw how Ireland managed to take care of the USA by 4 goals, then get rolled by Canada. Then Canada got done by Great Britain, and now the USA at the moment are doing a number on Great Britain.
What is this, the potato of parity we have going on here?
I tell you what, it's fantastic for football. That means we'll come into the semi-final stage on Thursday, scratching our heads saying anyone could win it from here. That's what you love about football. Umpire with the ball back in the middle of the ground here at Humber College, South Colonel Samuel Smith Park. Throws it high in the air. One out there by Kylie Horn. Wants to put in the direction of Kaya Segula. Segula sold the candy, then swung around on the right foot. Went long and high to Lindsay Beck, who read it best against McInerney in that great battle. Elects to go with a hand pass to Go-Go Kojo. Had it momentarily. Copped up the football to Jess Blecker. Blecker now gave it across. One step of the side. Here's the kicker to way to the left-hand side and will register as a minor score. The USA 4-3-27. Great Britain no score. 9.5 minutes remaining, third term, at our Payable App scoreboard, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com.
Eileen Yoon, who helped found the Orange County Giants women's team and almost scored from the same angle she scored 2 days ago. Dragged her down from behind. She's gone. And a 50-meter penalty, I believe, unless they're just shifting. No, it isn't. They'll play on. Sorry, they were backing up. Goes into the pocket looking for Munn. Shoved out of the way. Going after it once again. Great job in there. And going to send this one back. Munn able to get this one. And out to the near side. There is Beck. Beck going after the football against Bennett. The number 2. She tries to soccer it onto her own advantage. And there is Georgiadis and Fury. And we'll have a ball up on the near side. Brian Barish alongside Peter Holden. Glad to have you on this. Day 5 will be 50% done this tournament after this game as Williamson tries to go in there. Knocked back only as far as Hancock. Diving in on it is Saigoa. And everybody gives each other a big bear hug. And the umpire says, I want to give him the action by giving myself a big bear hug. And we'll have a ball up on the wing position in front of the There Live commentary position.
Up in the air we go again. One out by Williamson. Put it to the advantage of Fury, who runs onto it. McInerney got an arm in there at the last second. Then bumping in there is Sophie Bennett. Trying to pick up the footballer's terse. It's trapped to her. She's going nowhere. And the umpire says, I'll take the football back, please, and call for a ball up. 35 metres out from the USA goal. Going to the visit Mississauga.ca end of the ground. Great Britain at the moment do not look like scoring. It almost seems like they're shell-shocked as they hurry kick off the ground there by Turner. Now trying to put it into the area. I think it might be Gonzalez Leenda to try and pick it up. Works it out towards Bennett. Now throws it on the boot. Goes out towards the wing position on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Danny Marshall's chasing after it. Now if it goes out, she'll be happy with that result because she'd get a free kick. It doesn't. She's got it and picks it up. Under pressure, she gives the hand pass to Amelia Carr. Carr's kick is just rolling along the ground. Picked up by Williamson. Here comes trouble. Coming at the last second was a half yard. Almost ran her down. Here's the kick deep inside forward. Yoon is there. So is April Munn as well. No one can get clean possession. Umpire says holding infringement against April Munn. And it will be going the way of the British and will end up in the hands of Beth Tetlow. And she'll relieve the pressure for the Swans.
Swinging out to the far side where it's marked by Toms will play on. US, I think, have to be a little bit. They've given too many of those away between Munn and Yoon as the ball goes out of bounds. And it will be a last touch out. In fact, it may have even gone out on the full. Either way, it'll be a free kick to Amelia Carr, who is from Pasadena, California, but plays her footy with the Seattle Grizzlies. Looking in the middle for Blecker, another NTFLW veteran, or shall we say alumni, and getting wrapped up by Lewis there was McInerney. 6 3/4 minutes ago, third term. Ball in the air, slap punched forward as a long handball by Lewis. Finds Blecker. Blecker sends this one in now to the top of the 15-meter arc, but it's cut off at the pass, I believe by Lucy Miles, and they'll have a chance to shake the etch-a-sketch and draw up something new.
And goes towards the half-back flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground, trapping the football because she couldn't take it cleanly there. Was a 31 in Gallagher who moved it up the line, only for it to be intercepted by guess who? Danny Marshall. Marshall with the football is going to swing around on the right. Kicks long, very long, deep inside the forward line here for the USA, only to be intercepted by Tetlow. Tetlow sent it straight back to Marshall. They're just having a friendly kick to kick. Marshall now runs inside 45. Her kick flat on that occasion and will be kicked out of there by Carissa Turner. Turner going high with a kick. Amelia Carr lurking nearby on that contest. Trying to pick it up the ground is Ali Hancock. Hancock now gets it on the right boot. Her kick over the top is out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the USA. They'll have it between centre wing and the half-forward flank, Lake Ontario side of the ground.
Barb Williamson, a national champion at the University of Texas in NCAA Division I, also played it at the semi-pro level and does improv comedy. Maybe she can give us a couple of tips.
Waka, waka, waka.
As here is Allie Dykes. We mentioned Allie yesterday. She served for 2 years in the Peace Corps in the Gambia, so a lot of work being done off the field by these women, by these athletes, as there is Toms, who had to go through McInerney tracking down. It's going to be Saigul. Big bump put in there by Lewis to give her some extra time. Centering ball off the hands there of looks like Beck, and that one is cleared up on the far side. Off the hands. And ball goes to ground, and no, in fact, it was a good mark taken. Up on the far side, Lake Ontario side of the ground, and Pete and I could probably wander out about 30 feet and call the game from in front of the either live position and not be in any danger. Dykes with the hit, the spring Carr up on the far side, dribbles through to Newell, who has a goal in this tournament but not in this game. In fact, nobody in the white jumpers does. Sends it out to the far side. Garris Carr sending that one back across the laces, up high. McInerney jumps and takes a nice mark and will send it back the other way from her right halfback flank.
And McInerney is looking inboard. She's looking for some options instead of having to go down the line. She's taking her time. Might get the hurry up from the umpire soon. Indeed he does. He says, let's get it going. So McInerney with a long, long kick. Goes past centre wing here for the British. That's what they want to happen. Iwana Williams wants to get onto the football. Now they're going to move it up the line. Umpire's blown the whistle and said there's a bit of holding going on against the Americans. This time he's pinning the player in Tracy Mary McLean for holding on there. And a free kick going the way of the British, and they'll go up in the direction of Heiner, who jumped for the football, got knocked away from her by Marshall. Heiner goes to ground. She's got the ball between her legs, gets a little hand pass out along the ground. Trying to apply the soccer skills there was Gallagher. Up against the boundary line, it's Kojo Lewis, who now gets it for the Americans. Quickly gets across to Saigula, attempted the bounce. Maybe not the best idea in these conditions. Almost got run down there by the player in Hibbert. Her kick got intercepted, and the Swans are going to rebound through the middle of the ground, you would think. No, the umpire says, you are G-O-N-E gone.
And just coming through was Jess Blecker. It looked like she smothered it, but she gets the free kick for a good tackle. Blecker sends this one across in the middle of the ground. Pulling it down was Jerry Allen. Mark that down for a Payable Apps mark of the tournament possibility. She looked for it to play on the Leonard. Going to keep it herself. Chips in from 45 meters out. Gets by Beck, and going after it again is Bennett. Into the pocket now they go. Over on the far side, it comes to Bo off of one step, and Bo goes off to the side for a minor score. She was looking for her sixth of the tournament, but instead found 1 point. Under 3 to go, third term. USA go to 4-4-28. Great Britain, no score.
Here on the Payable Apps scoreboard, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. The ball is brought back in. I think it might be by, is that Hibbert or Franklin? I think it might be Franklin. It's gone with that kick. It's going to be intercepted though. Saigula dancing around, gets it across to Lindsay Beck, who sells the candy. They're moving it fast to Terse. Terse now goes out towards the pocket. One bounce chasing after it, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Connor Joe Lewis was trying to get there and couldn't get there in the nick of time. So we'll reset for a throw-in. It's going to be, by the look of it, Hibbert going up in the ruck contest versus Williamson. When the ball is thrown back in, it'll be about 35 metres out from the USA goal with 2 minutes remaining in this third term for Payable Apps. Hibbert had front position. It was roped off the pack by Bow. That's a contender for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament. And Amanda Bow has her first for the day. And the USA extend their lead. They go to 5-4-34. The Great Britain Swans yet to score. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third term at the AFL Transatlantic Cup.
Bit ironic that Amanda Bow, who was a soccer goaltender for Washington University in St. Louis, has been so good on the offensive side, and she has a PhD in biology. Just got married to her husband Matt, who plays for the Seattle Grizzlies men's team, and Bow has learned to do a darn good job of roving the play and getting the ball in towards being able to turn it in towards the stick. So out of the middle once again, we have a whistle. And it will be an infraction. I don't think it was a center square infraction, but it is Leonard, who is another PhD. As the ball goes in, going to get picked up by McInerney. Plays it out to the far side for Kelleher. Kelleher looked for the handball. Now will go for a jog. Runs her full measure. Now goes into the pocket. Mono dropped in front, and then I think getting accidentally spiked by Rita Hill, and then losing her shoe in the process. I believe that was Carissa Turner. And the umpire says, hang on one moment, we'll let you put your shoes back on. So time off very briefly. In fact, it was Iona Williams. And losing...
Might be called Cinderella after this, having to put a shoe back.
Does it fit? That's the question. A couple of us might turn into some pumpkins at midnight. Well, that'll be on Sunday at the after party, maybe. Who knows? But it will be Carissa Turner, who does get, or I said it was Williams, Iona Williams, who, well, she'll have the football now, and there is the siren. That will be the last kick of the quarter, and the ball gets punched away, and that is that. Three-quarter time here at Humber College, here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto. Your score, we have a player down.
Player down for the Great Britain Swans, currently on her back at the moment, and being helped up to their feet. So all is okay. Being checked on by Hallie Kastanek, and she said, yeah, I'm all go.
And the score on the Payable App scoreboard is we head into the fourth quarter. It's the USA 5 goals, 4-34. Great Britain 0. And, you know, Pete, Great Britain, no score yet. We've mentioned they don't really look like scoring. They're having trouble getting the ball up and really penetrating the half back line. But, you know, they're not playing it. They're not getting blown off the ground by any stretch of the imagination. There's been some good standout performances, and perhaps maybe even of the caliber of the Powerwood game MVP.
I'll tell you one thing. With Great Britain, maybe they're just not handling the ball well because of the wet conditions. I mean, this is the first wet day we've had. Yes, it's been a bit humid, but it's been a bit dry in the first two rounds they've played. I mean, as we've said, McInerney's been holding up well for them. We've pointed out our Turner's been working okay in the ruck. Bassie as well has been getting plenty of the football. Owana Williams there trying to present something up forward. Bennett trying to get into the action. Tetlow now starting to win her battles down there in defence. So there's little battles around the ground that they are winning. It's just that they're having the problem of being able to link up and have a successive chaining and to be able to create the run that the Americans are having. And this is the big thing for the Americans. It's the run that's winning them the game. It helped them in game 2 when they completely smashed their opponents, and it's helping them again today. Just that run at the football. Saigula, Connor Joe Lewis in particular, they're just running and they're spreading the ball more. Again, as I allude, I was critical of them in game 1 when they were just coming up the wing with the kicks going, oh no, this is 2017 International Cup all over again. But the ability of them to change the mindset at three-quarter time of that game 1, which they've carried on in that final quarter of that game against Ireland, against the game against France, and here at the moment against Great Britain to run that ball, that's a credit to this USA team.
It really is, and also to Coach Andrew Donlin alongside assistant coaches Marie LeVictor and Katie Klatt to really swing things a bit. The goals in that quarter for Fury and for Bow to go with goals by Munn, Blecker, and Saigula. We're going to step aside, come right back for the fourth and final quarter of the third and final game of day number 5. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Ads here from Toronto.
Australian football is in Canada. Fast. Tough. spectacular, fun. Join AFL Canada. Visit aflcanada.com.
Footy fans, you need to know about AFL Canada Shop. AFL Canada Shop has great items, whether you are a player, a coach, an umpire, a fan of Team Canada, or helping to grow this great game. Plus, AFL Canada Shop sells the highest quality Australian footballs at the best price anywhere. And we ship everywhere in the footy world. So visit AFL Canada Shop today at aflcanadashop.ca.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply.
And we are underway here in the fourth and final quarter of this final game of group play in the women's competition in the Transatlantic Cup. USA leading 34-0 going to the Toronto City Center end. And the Swans in the white going to the visitmississauga.ca end. As sending that one forward quickly was Marino for the aforementioned Swans. Digging in after the football is Rita Hill. And the ball ping-pongs around before Hahn, who get held off the ball. But the umpire said no prior opportunity. Onai will clear this mess. Ball will occur on the Lake Ontario side. Ball gets popped up high in the air. Hahn again in there, looking for Georgiadis, and then Hahn able to get it. There is Hibbert who puts the pressure on. Knocked forward by Marshall, who finds Georgiadis. Sends that 1-1 with her left foot, only as far as McInerney. Sends it back from whence it came, over into the pocket. I see Hill in a one-on-one contest there with Williams. And then going after to get it as Williams got knocked down. So did Hill. There is another Denver Bulldog and Dykes, who tried an over-the-shoulder boulder holder handball, and the ball has tumbled out of bounds. I believe that was a deflection. And we will have a boundary throw in after 1 minute of scoreless football here in the fourth.
USA 5-4-34, Great Britain no score. Just to explain about the two centre circles in the middle of the ground, in fact, there's even a third circle that's not quite clearly marked out. And the reason is because they're playing 30 games across 10 days, they're rotating between the two other circles because the grass is going to be worn out with a lot of foot traffic. And then when it comes to the main grand finals, they'll use the middle circle, which is between the two circles, and they'll repaint that properly to make sure that there's fresh ground for the grand final.
Our thanks to saying hello to Martin Coventry, longtime USAFLer, and currently playing with the Portland Steelheads, watching back in Portland. Of course, he's married to Lauren Skonechny. They actually met. They were both there for the International Cup in 2017. They got married, and they have a little girl named Bowie who's watching as well.
And, of course, Lauren, one of the best nicknames going around the competition, Schnitch. We love Loz. As now it's taken away there by Massey, who just got crunched in that contest. She's hit the ground a bit hard. She's slow to get up from that. As now just busting the way through here for Great Britain. They'll kick it, trying to put it in the direction of Owana Williams. Now they won't go for the soccer skills off the ground, which might have been the better bet to go with. Trying to fight their way into the contest is Emma Baker, close towards the boundary line. Umpire says, I'll take the football back, please, and we'll call for a ball up. We're about 5 metres in from the boundary, and we're about 25 metres around from the Great Britain goal, going to the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. Watching on is Amelia Carr at the side. Also watching on and wanting to get in there is Kaylee Alma. Umpire again will take the football back for a ball up.
And it will happen about, as we said, about 30 metres around, about 40 metres rather, from the Great Britain target. Here comes the possibility for their first point. It will roll and it'll skip, and on the score, or no, it's going out of bounds. In fact, it hit the behind post as umpire Ellen DeVries will call for the ball. We'll have a boundary throw in. Well, not just quite yet, but they are knocking on heaven's door. I love a boundary throw in. Let's see who we have here in the ruck, and the ball comes in. It is Hahn and Hibbard, and Hahn wins it out to Carr, who dribbles it along the ground. Going after and getting it and picking that one up is Elmer. Elmer with it, and it goes towards that big tree over there. Going to get kicked out by Georgiadis. There are the two number 16s there. Carr just got her handball out over to the near side, going to drop in front. Picked up by Lizzie Toms. Toms going to send this one in and has a target. Going to play quickly and dribbling it across the face. Was Alex Stevens. I don't know if that was touched or not, but they played on quickly. But Great Britain finally on the board. 4 minutes into the final term. It's the USA 5-4-34. Great Britain won. That's for Payable Apps, and this is Peter Holden.
Yeah, if it wasn't touched, you would have liked to have gone back to try and settle. And oh dear, Hayley Kastanek has put the football out of bounds on the full, and it will be a free kick for the British, because they're saying, no, that was not a mark. It is a Great Britain football. Now, if she doesn't give it, it's a 50-metre penalty, and she's kicked it away. That's a double 50. That is a double 50. Lucy New will get that. The player, Tracy Mary McLean, I think it was, thought she'd mark and was being paid the mark. And the umpire says, no, it was out of bounds in the full as adjudged by the boundary umpire. And then she didn't give it back in time, which is a 50-metre penalty. Then she kicked the football away, which means double 50. So Lucy New will be directly in front here. And this might start something for the Great Britain Swans. Lucy Newell coached the University of Birmingham team in 2023. She puts it through the middle. Maybe that starts something for the Swans. Great Britain 1-1-7. The USA Freedom 5-4-34. 12 and a half minutes remaining final term.
And if you're Coach Andrew Donlan, you did not like anything about the last maybe 2 minutes of that for the USA. Giving up the behind there and perhaps getting a little bit lucky not to give up a goal. And then Hallie Kastanek, meanwhile, probably, we saw her struggle with the kick-ins in that game against Ireland. She didn't play in the last game. I don't know. I mean, you look at the possibility of sticking Allie Dykes back there in the semifinal, but, the USA need to tighten this up. They need to see this game out.
As the ball is back in the middle of the ground again, umpire's blown the whistle and given a free kick away of Great Britain. It's going to end up in the hands of Sophie Bennett, and she wanted the football quickly because she knows momentum is everything. Bennett gets on the right boot, going in the contest. Maybe little hands in the back there of Lucy Newell by Marshall. Umpire says no. Marshall's caught, dropping the football. Like a bad Saturday night club DJ, she dropped everything. And now with the football is the number 16 and Jerry Halfyard. Halfyard gets on the right boot, goes long. Hallie Kastanek is there, came off hands. Newell trying to get her in kick. She got bumped off the ball at a very crucial moment. Out of bounds on the full, just near the right-hand point post.
That would have been a contender for Payable Apps' goal of the tournament had she curled the ball around and not had Connor Lewis trying to figure out what flavor of chewing gum she was, as Kastanek, the mother of two, alongside her wife Lindsay, who played together in the 2017 International Cup, actually played in the Parallel Cup a season ago, and Dykes is going to get pinged for I think she took her down without the football, but that was the call. So the ball will come. She stands on the 50-meter paint, does Kaylee Aylmer. With Dykes on the mark, Aylmer traverses the 50-meter arc, sends a high ball skyward. Out the back was Marshall. She will just snag it with one hand. Finds Terse, who takes the mark. Terse, the shortest player on the USA team at 4'11". Her mom, Dolores, is watching at home. Out to the near side, it's Allison Leonard. Started with the Seattle Grizzlies, did Allison Leonard. Moved to Colorado to work on her PhD. Now plays for the Bulldogs and turns it over to Lizzie Toms.
Toms with the football on the half-forward flank on the either line, broadcast under the ground. Gets on the right boot, swings it long and high towards the goal square. A few players get Falcon. Hallie Kastanek has got it. She got the hand pass away while under pressure. Trying to come through is Kate Franklin. There's a snap across the face of goal. The ball is just barely kept in. Here's an opportunity for a snap, and it's away to the left-hand side. The goal umpire says it is no, it hit the point post. Ooh. No score. He is saying in consultation with the boundary umpire, the ball did hit the padding of the left-hand point post, so that means it will be a throw-in, no score.
It will be a boundary throw-in. I didn't see that there, but it must have just had a snicko, so to speak. Boundary umpire comes in about 5 meters around. Putting her hand up there is Heiner. And the ball drifts away. Heiner against Hahn. The two H's. Hahn wins that. Ball going to get picked out. Caskew cleared out of the play there. And then going on, somebody wanted a call. And yeah, it's going to be dropping the football. Good tackle. It'll be a free kick. And Golden and Great Britain, I'm getting ready for nationals already, will be Heiner, I believe. So Ellie Heiner, who kicked 2 so far this tournament, sends it up on the way. It is dead center, perfect. Here come the Swannies. And in fact, you can get, it is Heiner, her first and her third of the tournament on the Payable app scoreboard. Back to 21 points. USA 5-4-34. Great Britain 2-1-13. It's getting very interesting, Peter Holden.
Indeed it is. And I was just thinking there for a moment when about 2 minutes ago when they had that long bomb towards goal. I was looking at McInerney, of course, who's been matching up on Beck, and McInerney was standing around the middle of the ground watching. I thought, maybe is it time to gamble? I mean, as you said, you're about 5 goals down. Maybe you got someone with that height. You go, look, McInerney, let's just gamble. Let's go for it. Let's throw you down for a little while on the forward line to give you an extra tall target to go to. As we restart the play, it's Lucy Massey's first to the football. Car on her hammer. Massey got the hand pass away. Might want to call for the 1-2. Getting the kick there is Tom. She copped it too high. Not quite to the advantage because the ball had held up for Gallagher. Lizzie Tom says, bring it back to me quickly. Let's get it going. 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this contest. Lizzie Toms gets on the right boot, delivers it towards the centre half forward position. Bouncing football. Rita Hill want to try to come through for the Americans. Picking it up there is Ali Dyke. She's under pressure. Coming at her was Katie Murdoch. Ball on the ground. Wanting to jump in there is Sophie Bennett. She's wrapped up by Carr. Umpire blows the whistle and calls for a ball up right on the paint. 50 metres out from the Great Britain goal. They're kicking to the Visit Mississauga.ca end of the ground. Turner goes up in the contest. She wins the tap down. Ball on the deck. Trying to get through there is Gallagher to pick it up. Whistle's being pulled, and that means a free kick going the way of Great Britain. Iona Williams with the football. She's 45 metres out from goal. Time to extract the digit and move it quickly. Lizzie Toms is saying, I'm here if you need help. Very netball of her. Now gets on the right boot. Williams kicks it long towards the goal square. Bounces, stays in play for Heiner. Heiner keeps the ball alive. Had 2 coming at her. Went with a short kick. Kick across the face of goal by Alex Stevens. 1 bounce and the ball is over and out.
They are bending but not breaking just yet. And we have a whistle, and it looks like a stoppage of play. We have a time off here.
Heiner.
It is Heiner who is down behind play.
She got crunched by 2 players as she went to kick.
Yeah, and Heiner, who has been really one of the main targets, and she is off the ground. So they are going to attend to her. They should be able to continue play, I believe. Everybody is just pointing at the moment.
They were signaling to the bench to bring someone on. Now, the situation is, as much as she's sitting outside the ground, if someone came on while she's out, she could not come back on.
And what it looks like, well...
Yeah, the doc's saying, yep, she's done for the day. So Great Britain will be bringing someone on.
And hopefully we'll keep an eye as to who it is. And sprinting onto the ground there is Newell. So Newell, who has 2 goals, who has 1 today and 2 for the tournament. And we'll have to keep an eye on Heiner because she's been one of their top targets in the line, and they're going to need her in the semifinals. Ball back in the play, and there was Hibbard who got taken down. Good tackle by Barb Williamson, and no, they're just lining her up. In fact, no, they were saying it as Amelia Carr in the back right pocket. They know her very well at the Rough and Tumble Pub in Seattle. Hopefully they'll get us on in time for the semifinals. Ball bounces up on the far side. It'll roll, it'll skip, it'll hop, it'll go out of bounds. Last touch out of bound rule, I believe. Yep, Sophie Bennett has it. Bennett with the football, watched by Georgiadis. Waiting, has a chance, has Carr in the middle if she wanted her. Bounced away. Now here's Amelia Carr going after it. Picked up by Williamson. Big pump put in there by Hibbo as Freya Hibbard put her down. Ball will squeak out nearly as Saigula was taken down. Big crunching tackle. And if Dally Dykes hit her any harder, she'd be eating fried chicken with Mama, Daddy, and Baby Jesus. It will be a free kick, however, just outside the 50-meter arc to Sophie Bennett.
Sophie Bennett with the football. The entrepreneur with a big Instagram following goes inside 50 with a kick. Came off hand. Tally Castatic. Was accidentally touched there by Marshall. probably should have best to let it go. Trying to jump in there is Iona Williams. She couldn't get it out for the British. Georgiadis there as well. Massey doing some shepherding work as Hibbert tried to throw it on the boot. Only at the feet there of Danny Marshall, who picks it up for the Americans. Marshall goes with a big booming clearing kick out towards centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Getting to the foot race first is McInerney. McInerney swings around here for Great Britain. Long ball bouncing inside 50 here for the Great Britain. Ali Kastanek gets back there for the USA Freedom. Her kick goes towards Marshall, who manages to take the mark while under pressure from Kate Franklin, who was coming at her.
One in trouble, one in strife.
Heller Marshall.
As here is Danny Marshall on the right half back flank, as that one is off the hands of Allie Dykes. Now throws that one onto the right, goes down the line. Bo is there, so is Sequeira. On the Lake Ontario / AFL Ontario scoreboard side, getting sent back from Witsa-Kane. There's Marshall once again, and she will play on quickly. Check that. I think that's Caskew, as this one is sent down the line. Munn, who's crept up, saw it go off of her hand. She's going to have to chase it. Wrestling match in there between Tetlow, who's moved up as well, and Sequeira. Nobody had clear possession. In fact, no, I'm wrong. It is a lasso free kick, and boy, that rule can be confusing from time to time, but it is Caroline Sequeira, who started with the Sacramento Suns, now plays for the Iron Maidens this season as she has moved out towards the bay. The ball has tumbled out of bounds, and once again, it is a lasso free kick, and Sequeira will get another chance. Just mentioning Carol Sequeira, she broke her foot back in May, a Herculean effort to get back into the side.
Indeed, and looking for April Munn, and she couldn't hang on the football. Massey going with Carr. Carr went to ground, trying to get the hurry kick away there as Lizzie Tom spoiled off her boot. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of play. We're at the half-forward flank for the Americans. They're going towards the Toronto City Centre end of the ground, 65 metres out from their goal. Just a bit over 3 minutes remaining in this final quarter. Great Britain 2-1-13, trail the USA 5-4-34 for Payable Apps, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. Ball is thrown back into play, taking immediately out of the ruck, uncontested Freya Hibbert, who kicks it around towards centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Massey watching on as getting the mark in front. It was the player in Franklin beating outside Gula. So Franklin with the football. She's defensive side of centre wing. Gets on the right boot. Long and high the kick. Kastanek is there, and off front spot taken by guess who? Danny Marshall.
And with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game, it is going to be like Bingo trying to eat a cherry tomato with a fork. It is going to be a bit difficult as Heiner passes for us. She is walking okay, wondering if there may have been a head knock there, but we will check and see as a free kick will go the other way. And it will come...
Tetlow, yep.
It will be Tetlow, and they give it to Sequeira, who's just waiting for Bob Tetlow to turn around. And a very nice, do you have any Grey Poupon? As there is Tetlow, 2 minutes to go. USA are home. They're going to finish at 2-1. Great Britain as well at 2-1. But you know what? They played well in all three games, and I think they have a shot against Ireland. We'll have to see how they go. There's a big shove in the back by Georgiadis on Marino. Out to the near side. Handballs it back. Massey was taken down there by Saigula. Up on the far side they go. Umpire says, as he sprints in looking like Usain Bolt in that green jumper. And we'll have a ball up on the Lake Ontario side, 95 seconds to go thereabouts.
And Bennett tries to go after the football, overruns it, then goes back to get it again under pressure from Beck, and Beck takes the football away from her. Now it's out by Terse, who swings around. It was Fury who swung around and put it on the boot in towards the middle of the ground. It's Go-Go Kojo who pushes her player out of the way. Hand passes across to Blacker. Blacker now gets on the left boot, wants to go inside 50. Awkward bouncing ball that got away from Sequeira. Out the back to Eileen Yoon. Yoon, it's bouncing, it's dribbling. It won't make the distance. It's away the left. It's in the pocket. They're going for the rundown with Sequeira, who lays the tackle. Yoon goes in to pick up the football. Hand pass back to Blecker, who is then taken over the boundary line and out of bounds by Susan Gallagher.
And this is the biggest offensive move that we've seen in this fourth quarter. Most of the play has been to the visitmississauga.ca end, but with less than a minute to go, the USA see if they can add any more. A lot of the forwards just kind of swimming around like sharks, looking to see if they can steal a goal. Here is Terse, who gives to Lewis, who dropped the pill. Ball bounces off the side, Kula's arms, and that will do it. Full time in this final round-robin match in the women's division of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, brought to you by Payable Apps. The score: The USA Freedom 5 goals, 434. Great Britain 2-1-13. The first and only non-shutout of the game of the day of the 3 games. Thank goodness for that. It was good to see Great Britain get into the game in the fourth quarter, but the USA too good from end to end. Much the best here. As we say, they finished the round robin portion of the tournament at 2-1, as does Great Britain.
Dare I say, with this game, as much as it was a fantastic contest, the USA on top for 3 quarters, Great Britain fighting back, and even when Great Britain went on the scoreboard, they were putting up a fight against the USA Freedom. As much as a dead rubber game, in a strange way, as much as both sides had positives, I think both sides copped a cold shower. That is, Great Britain copped the cold shower for the first 3 quarters to go, oh my God, we've had 2 games where we've won, we beat Canada, we're on top of the world, and here comes the USA with a reality check. And then Great Britain got the act together and won that final quarter, giving a cold shower to the USA to think, well, if you think it's going all your way, no, at any stage someone could turn it back on you. So if you think you're now ready to take on the Irish and the Canadians, maybe you're not. So both sides got positives, but also got a reality check.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the thing. If we look at these 4 teams that are going into the semifinals, the U.S. will play Canada in one semifinal. We'll get to the schedule in a minute. Great Britain playing Ireland. We've seen really that anything can happen. You came in thinking Ireland, they're with all the pedigree they have and all the players they have who play at such a high level, they're the outstanding favorites. But then, they fell to Canada. Great Britain playing well as well, and them beating Canada as well. And then the U.S. comes in and beats them. I mean, there's so many different factors in this that really, any of the 4 teams in the semifinal have a fair claim at winning the championship.
And I can confirm the matchups as well for Thursday, as now the things have fallen into place thanks to Vision Glass Toronto, GTA exotic car experts, auto glass, convertible tops and sunroofs, and hey, you don't have to worry about the insurance claim process. They just make it easy for you at visionGlassToronto.com. France and Colombia will play in what we call a 5th versus 6th playoff on Thursday at 10 a.m. At 12 p.m. it will be the Pool B or European semi-final. So it'll be Great Britain and Ireland going head-to-head. And then at 2 p.m. it's the Americas Pool A semi-final, Canada versus the USA. I guess you technically have to give favouritism to Ireland because they are the reigning International Cup and European champions. But Canada have staked their claims. Great Britain have staked claims. The USA today have staked claims. This is a very, very interesting semi-final day we're coming into.
It is, and very interesting, Peter. This is the same semi-final setup as 7 years ago during the last International Cup, because the U.S. lost to Canada. Mind you, they lost by 38 points. And then Ireland pipping Great Britain with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes to win by 5.
Including a controversial mark at a crucial stage of the game.
Absolutely. I wasn't on the call, but I vaguely remember that.
The ball only went 5 meters and they paid the mark.
Let's check the goal kickers for this game, and it was all singletons. For the USA, it was Kaya Saigula, Nicole Fury, Jess Blecker, April Munn, and Amanda Bowe for the USA. And the 2 goal kickers coming in the fourth quarter, Lucy Newell and Ellie Heiner, who we hope is okay as she went off the ground. It's time to select our Powerwood Game MVP. Powerwood have donated, of course, they donated hand-carved trophies. They have custom cedar supplies done right. Cedar suppliers in Western Canada. A lot of really good players for the USA, Pete. There's a few that we mentioned at halftime. I'm going to give it to you to award the proverbial hardware.
Well, okay. As I said, there's a handful of players that did well. They put their hand up. Nicole Fury, I thought, was having an excellent game running through the middle of the ground. Lindsay Turse, particularly in that first half, doing well for them. As we said, Danny Marshall, the quality of her being an AFLW footballer, and has really helped with that half-back line of the USA, as we saw, particularly for those first 3 quarters. But for me, there was one player that was running through the middle of the ground. As I said, she was like Tim Hortons in Canada. She was everywhere, particularly in the first 3 quarters, setting up the victory, and that's Kaya Saigula. She's the game MVP for me.
Kaya Saigula, your Powerwood game MVP, and she was the team MVP in the first game as well. She now has 3 goals on the tournament. So just once again running through the schedule for semi-final day, which is Thursday. On the Thursday, it all gets underway at 10 o'clock with the 5th, 6th place game as Colombia will take on France. The Group B semifinal, we'll see Ireland and Great Britain. That'll get underway at noon Eastern time, and then it'll be USA and Canada at 2 p.m. Don't forget, we will finish things off on the men's side with the final round of round robin play. And Pete, you want to tell us the schedule for tomorrow?
Yes, 9:30 a.m. we have the Irish Warriors taking on the USA Revolution. At 11:45 it is the Canadian North Wind versus the France Cox, and at 2 p.m. the Columbia Jaguares versus the Great Britain Bulldogs. Again from 9:30 a.m. local time tomorrow, the men's side of the draw.
And you can catch all of the see where you can watch, as well as find out the schedules, the standings, all that other stuff via AFLCanada.com. Peter Holden, thank you so much for your company. It was a little bit more lower key than it was yesterday, but a great calling with you once again, and it was good to see a good game here at the end.
It was certainly a privilege. As I said, I'm really excited for women's football in North America, South America, and Europe from what we've seen from these first 3 rounds, and we're going to have a spectacular day of football on Thursday.
Our thanks to Patrick McNeil and to David Smith, who you heard call earlier, and for helping us draw some stick figures to count the numbers. Our thanks to Nathan, Adam, and everybody in the truck, and everybody with There Live, and our thanks, of course, to you for joining us. We'll see you right here back at 9:30 a.m. for day 6 of this, the AFL 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, beginning for Payable Ads. For everyone here, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.